In a remote corner of the South Khorasan area, precisely near the border with Afghanistan, there is an ancient village 1,500 years old, known as the Dwarf Village, and is considered one of the most amazing villages in the world. Experts believe that around 1 century ago, this village was inhabited by people, a dwarf with a size of about 50 centimeters. This belief is based on the fact that about 200 stone and clay houses that make up this village, 70 or 80 of them have a very low height. This dwelling has a height of about 150 centimeters, with a narrow door that can't be entered except by bending. This village is called Makhunik. Even though it is 1,500 years old, the architecture in this village looks like it came from 10,000 years ago. The simple houses in Makhunik maintain ancient designs made of wood, mud, stone, and straw. These houses are built in depressions in the hill area, with the main room lower about 1 meter from the ground level. Therefore, the house often requires stairs to connect the entrance to the ground floor of the house. The length and width of this house ranges from 1 meter to 3 meters. Each house has one room small for storing barley and wheat, plus a small room for cooking, as well as several small rooms for keeping animals and other equipment. There is also a living room, bedroom, knitting workshop, and so on. In this small house, one family can have 8 members. They have no problems with living conditions. Even though the house looks simple and is built with simple materials, building this tiny house is not a simple matter. This is because residents have limited access in domestic animals, which are quite large, which are usually used to transport materials, as well as because the road conditions are not suitable. As a result of these conditions, people have to transport building material supplies by hand for several kilometers. Because of this, the population chooses to build simple and smaller houses. Small, because a smaller house will require fewer materials and make their business lighter. Besides that, small houses are easier to heat and cool than larger houses. In 2006, there were around 125 families, with a population of around 700 people living in Makhunik. It is thought that they were originally Sunni Afghans who immigrated to the area hundreds of years ago, where they were then isolated and did not have much communication with outsiders. The area this actually covers several villages, some of which are Makhunik, Tutak, Lakunak, Damdame, Jaloru, and so on. All the residents in this village have the same character, religion, and lifestyle. Until 50 years ago, all the residents in this village did not drink tea, and not eating meat. The belief that Makhunik residents had dwarf bodies in the past is not only based on architectural findings in this area. However, in 2005, a mummified body measuring around 25 centimeters was discovered in this area. This discovery then sparked the belief that this remote corner of Iran was once home to an ancient city of dwarves, although later experts discovered the fact that the mummy was actually a baby, premature, who died about 400 years ago. But they argue that the generation of Makhunik residents is actually shorter than usual. They add that one of the reasons why people in this region have shorter bodies than people of their time is malnutrition, which contributes significantly to the lack of height body. The lack of nutrition is influenced by the dry and remote geography, which makes it difficult for the residents to raise livestock, grow rapeseed, grains, dates, and several other plants, which are their staple food. On the other hand, access to the surrounding towns is also very difficult, and there are no means to cross the mountains, which is why this village remained without access and unknown to the outside world until around 100 years ago, during which time the population continued to suffer from nutritional deficiencies. Fortunately, around 70 last year, when this area began to be discovered, the government began to open roads to reach this area, along with food and several other facilities, with transportation connected to villages. People in this village can reach the nearest city and eat something better. Young people started going to the nearest town and bringing back money and food, so that the situation in this village became better than before. If previously the average population of this village had a short and stocky body, now they have a tall and slender body. However, although most of today's hundreds of Makhunik residents are of average height, but reminders of the stature of their ancestors who were shorter than most people still persist today.